Imagine this, you're sitting across from her at a cafe. The conversation is flowing, laughter is easy, and suddenly it happens. Her hand brushes against yours on the table, barely a second. Just a whisper of skin against skin. You tell yourself it could be nothing. Just clumsy movement. Just coincidence. But your chest tightens because deep down, you know it wasn't an accident. You felt the intention behind it. That light touch wasn't about contact, it was about control. Some women understand the psychology of touch better than most men ever will. A feather-light touch is not about sensation, it's about testing. It's about seeing if you flinch, if you lean in, if you become eager. Because in that moment, she is silently asking, do I own your attention? The tragedy is most men answer without words. They answer with their body. They lean closer, they smile wider. They give away power in the split second that should have belonged to them. You've probably been there. That moment when she touched your shoulder while laughing, when she adjusted your collar, when she rested her palm on your knee by accident, and instantly, your brain lit up like fireworks. You thought, this means she likes me, this means I'm in, but that's the trap. The touch isn't the prize, it's the bait, and if you're not careful, you'll spend the next hour, day, or week chasing the ghost of that touch, giving her the satisfaction of knowing you're hooked. Here's the brutal truth. A light touch is not proof of desire. It's proof of curiosity. It's an initiation, not a conclusion. She's testing if your energy is stable enough to hold her interest or weak enough to collapse under her teasing. If you break, if you gush, if you become overly eager, if you give her instant validation, you teach her something dangerous. You teach her that a flick of her fingers can command your entire mood. And once she knows that, you've given her the lever to move you like a puppet. Think back. Have you ever noticed how one touch can hijack your focus? You forget what you were saying. You lose track of your confidence. You start second-guessing yourself. That's not attraction, that's submission. That's you letting her write the script. So what's the strategy when she initiates light touch? First, do nothing. That's right. Do not react. Your body stays still. Your eyes don't flicker. Your voice doesn't jump. You continue the conversation as if her hand didn't just test your balance. That silence in your body tells her more than words ever could. It tells her I felt it, I noticed, but I don't need it to stay in control. Second, wait, because a single touch doesn't mean anything until she repeats it. Patterns matter. If she touches once, it's a spark. If she touches twice, it's interest. If she touches 3 times, it's intent. And that's when you choose. You don't pounce. You don't gush. You escalate subtly, a mirrored touch on her forearm, a controlled lean in, a measured pause. Your response comes only after she is invested. That's how you stay the one holding the frame. The deeper psychology is this: women use light touch to collapse your defenses. They want to see if you'll lose yourself in the smallest gesture. They want to know if you're a man of discipline or a boy starving for approval. And the moment you show them you're starving, the game shifts. She may still flirt, she may still smile, but she no longer respects you because she knows your attention is cheap. The cost of failing this test is heavy. You'll feel it when she pulls back and you chase harder. You'll feel it when she laughs with another man while you're still obsessing over the touch she gave you. You'll feel it when she says, I just don't feel the spark, even though she was the one sparking everything in the first place. That pain isn't about her. It's about the power you handed over without realizing it. So remember this, her light touch is not a gift. It's a doorway, but not every doorway should be walked through. Sometimes the power lies in letting the door stay closed, in making her knock again, harder this time. Because when she realizes she can't move you with something so small, she'll either step up with real intent or she'll vanish, and either outcome leaves you stronger. Have you ever caught yourself overanalyzing a single touch for days after it happened? Did it lead you closer to her or further away from yourself? Which reaction do you think reveals more strength, leaning in the moment she touches you, or holding still until she makes it undeniable? Picture this: you're walking beside her down a crowded street. The energy is light, playful, and she brushes her arm against yours once, twice, maybe a third time. Each time you're left wondering, was it intentional, or just the chaos of movement in a busy space? That's the puzzle men get trapped in. The mind starts racing, overreading every fraction of contact. But here's the truth. Most men don't face whether it's accidental or intentional. Doesn't matter as much as your response. Because your response tells her if you are stable or if you can be steered. Women use subtle touch as a calibration tool. She wants to see if you lose your cool, if you break your masculine rhythm. And most men fail by leaning into it like beggars at a feast. They shift closer, speed up their words, laugh too loud, as if the touch gave them permission to finally prove themselves. That's when the balance breaks. Because she doesn't want to see you collapse into eagerness. She wants to see if you can stand firm while her storm circles you. You have to understand something primal. A woman's attraction is not built in what you do after she touches you. It's built in what you don't do. It's built in restraint, in holding your ground, in showing her that your center cannot be moved by the brush of a fingertip. This is not about ignoring her. It's about refusing to be possessed by her in a single move. The pattern is simple. If you respond instantly to light touch with exaggerated attention, you reveal desperation. If you freeze up, stiff, awkward, you reveal insecurity. But if you stay relaxed, engaged in conversation, steady in your tone and body, you reveal control. You reveal the kind of strength she can't manipulate so easily. And paradoxically, that restraint draws her in deeper. You've probably seen this play out before. She's laughing, she leans into you, her hand lingers on your shoulder. Instead of freezing or exploding into smiles, you stay calm. Let her hand rest there, and you continue your story. No shift in tone, no nervous glance, no rush to capitalize on the moment. That stillness forces her to wonder, why isn't he reacting like every other man would? And the moment she starts wondering, you've reversed the test. Now she's chasing your stability instead of you chasing her validation. This is where most men sabotage themselves. They confuse touch as the finish line when it's really just the opening move. They believe a touch equals interest. But the truth is a touch equals curiosity. Interest is proven when she repeats it, invests again, and escalates on her own. Until then, you wait. You don't chase a spark, you let the spark chase you. Now, let's translate this into practical strategy. First, observe repetition. One touch could be circumstance. 2 touches begin to form a pattern. 3 touches mean she's signaling investment. Don't react to the first. Don't react to the second. Let her stack the evidence until it's undeniable. Second, hold your frame. That means your words don't speed up, your body doesn't lean in, your energy doesn't spike. You hold steady, because the moment you shift drastically, you show her the power wasn't in you, it was in her. Third, respond with delayed reciprocity. If she touches you 3 times in 10 minutes, then, and only then, you give a measured response, a gentle touch on her forearm while you're making a point. A slow lean in during a laugh. That reciprocity tells her I acknowledge your signals, but I choose when to return them, and choice is where your power lies. The deeper psychology behind all this is about control of attention. Women know that men crave touch. It's a scarcity in men's lives. Most men are so touch-starved that even the lightest contact feels like intimacy. That's why they break so easily. That's why she tests. And when she sees you don't crumble at the smallest gesture, she sees a man who doesn't live in scarcity. She sees a man who isn't desperate for crumbs. She sees a man who only invests when there's substance. That's rare and that's magnetic. Think about it. The last time a woman touched you lightly, did you interpret it as a green light and chase harder? Did you lose your rhythm in the conversation, or did you let her wonder why you stayed calm? What do you think women respect more? The man who melts under her hand, or the man who makes her work for his touch? Now imagine you're at a party. Music hums in the background, people are laughing, and she leans closer while telling you a story. Her hand grazes your chest as if to emphasize her words. To you, it feels electric. To her, it's a chess move. Because she's not just telling a story, she's watching yours. She's measuring your reaction like a scientist studying a subject. And in that instant, you're either the man who cracks wide open or the man who remains grounded, unshaken, unbothered. Here's the uncomfortable reality: light touch is not about affection, it's about leverage. Some women wield it to reel you in, to see if they can command your attention without giving anything real. They know men are wired to overvalue touch because it's rare in male experience. Most men don't get casual, affectionate contact from friends or peers. So when a woman initiates touch, it bypasses logic and dives straight into your nervous system. Suddenly you feel chosen, suddenly you feel special, and that's where you lose the frame. You can't afford to treat a light touch as proof of intimacy. Intimacy is built when actions align with consistency, when investment deepens over time, when she gives you more than signals. Until then, the brush of her hand means nothing. But here's what it does mean: she is watching your discipline. She is asking silently, can you hold steady? Or are you so starved for validation that you'll sell your dignity for a flicker of skin? Think about how many times you've seen men collapse after a touch. The guy at the bar who was cool until she touched his forearm, and suddenly he's leaning in, laughing too hard, buying drinks, overextending. The coworker who lost his professionalism the moment she adjusted his tie. The friend who thought a touch on the knee meant she wanted him, when really it meant she wanted reassurance that she still had his attention. Men overreact. Men overinterpret. Men give everything away too soon. But when you learn to control your body's instinctive reaction, something shifts. Your stillness becomes a mystery. She touches. You don't flinch. You don't gush. You don't bite the bait. You continue with your tone steady, your body relaxed, your eyes holding calm contact. That silence in your response flips the test back on her. Now she's the one questioning. Why didn't it work? Why didn't he react like the others? What's different about him? And curiosity is the seed of attraction. Tactically, this is where you separate yourself from the crowd. You never chase the first touch. You never let one flicker of contact dictate your frame. Instead, you watch. You collect data. If she touches you again, you still hold. If she does it a third time, then you reward not with overexcitement, but with controlled reciprocity. A brief touch on her forearm when making a point. A subtle lean when she's laughing. A mirror, not a surrender. Because power doesn't live in reacting, it lives in choosing. And here's another layer. Women who use touch as manipulation often combine it with withdrawal. They'll touch you once, see you light up, then pull back. They'll let you chase that moment for hours, days, sometimes weeks. It's like giving a gambler one winning hand and watching him throw his life savings trying to replicate it. Don't play that game. If she touches once, then vanishes. You don't chase. You let the silence stand. You let her feel the weight of your indifference. Because the man who doesn't need her touch is the man she respects. The internal cost of failing this test is subtle but destructive. You start anchoring your confidence to her approval. You start replaying the moment in your head, wondering what it meant. You start planning your next move around a gesture that wasn't even real commitment. And in that spiral, you lose yourself. You stop being present. You stop being free. And that's when attraction dies, not because she left, but because you abandoned your own center. So, when her hand grazes you, remember it's not a prize. It's a probe. She's not giving herself to you. She's testing if you'll give yourself away. And the only winning move is discipline, control, stillness. Because when you hold, when you refuse to be moved by the smallest gesture, you create the one thing she cannot resist: tension. Have you ever looked back and realized you built an entire fantasy on a single touch? Did you chase her harder only to end up with nothing? Or have you ever surprised a woman by staying calm when she expected you to melt? Picture this: you're sitting beside her on the couch. The movie is playing. The lights are low. And her hand just grazes your thigh for a second. Not long enough to be bold. Not long enough to be certain. Just long enough to put you in your head. Your heart pounds. Your mind races. You tell yourself, that was it. That was the signal. I should move now. And that's exactly where most men self-destruct, because they confuse her test with her intent. This is where the psychology gets dark. A woman's light touch, especially early on, is not about intimacy. It's about control of pace. If she can make you speed up, if she can make you jump ahead, she knows she owns the tempo. And in relationships, whoever owns the tempo owns the frame. You've seen this in yourself. One touch and suddenly you're leaning closer, putting your arm around her, trying to lock it in. But she's not following you. She's pulling back, giggling, shifting away. She gave the cue, and you sprinted ahead. And in that moment, she saw what she needed to see: that you're predictable, that you're easy, that she can trigger you at will. You have to stop treating light touch as an invitation. It's not an open door, it's a knock. And the man who rushes to open every knock ends up looking desperate. But the man who lets her knock again, who waits for her to ask louder, that man creates anticipation. That man builds tension. That man becomes unforgettable. Here's the strategy most men never master. Restraint is power. Restraint is the difference between the man who validates her too soon and the man who makes her earn his response. Think of it like this: her touch is currency. If you react explosively to the first coin she spends, she'll stop investing. But if you stay calm, steady, she realizes she has to spend more, give more, show more. And when she invests repeatedly, that's when you know it's real. What does this look like in practice? Simple. She touches you once, do nothing. She touches you twice, you notice, but you still hold. She touches you 3 times, consistently, without pulling away. And now you respond, not with hunger, but with choice. A slow, deliberate touch on her arm, a hand resting briefly, then leaving first. You don't cling, you don't grip, you leave her wondering, why didn't he hold longer? Why didn't he need more? That's how you flip the script. And here's another layer. Women who truly desire you will escalate. They'll close the distance again and again. They'll linger longer. They'll remove the accidental disguise. If she doesn't escalate, it wasn't desire, it was play. It was bait. And if you fall for bait, you'll spend weeks chasing shadows. The cost of chasing shadows is brutal. You'll find yourself replaying every small gesture, building castles in your head. You'll tell your friends, but she touched me here. She leaned in there. I know she likes me. Meanwhile, she's texting another man, giving him the real investment. You're left with scraps, convincing yourself it was a feast. And in the end, you don't just lose her, you lose yourself. You lose respect for your own time, your own energy, your own worth. But when you flip it, when you see her touch as a test instead of a guarantee, you regain control. You don't anchor your emotions to her fingertips. You anchor them to your discipline. You stop asking, does she like me, and start asking, has she earned me? That's the masculine shift. That's the posture that keeps you from being another pawn in her game. This isn't about being cold. It's about being sovereign. You can enjoy the moment. You can smile. You can let it happen, but you don't surrender your frame. Because the second you do, you've taught her everything she needs to know, that you're a man who can be led by crumbs. And no woman truly respects the man who chases crumbs. So when her fingers brush your arm, when her hand lingers just a second too long, when her body accidentally leans into yours, ask yourself, is this a test? Or is this investment? And don't answer with your body until she's made it undeniably clear. Because the power isn't improving you're ready, it's improving you can wait. Have you ever chased a woman harder just because of one small touch, only to watch her fade away? Or have you ever held back, stayed calm, and seen her come closer again and again? Which version of you do you think she respected more? There's a moment every man remembers, the one where her touch feels like a spark and you think, this is it. She's mine now. Maybe it was her fingers trailing lightly across your back as she walked past. Maybe it was her palm brushing your hand while reaching for the same drink. Maybe it was her knee pressing against yours under the table. And in that second, you thought the game was over, but that's where the game actually begins. Because here's the unspoken truth. Women initiate light touch, not only to test your discipline, but to measure your value against other men. She already knows how most men will react: too fast, too eager, too obvious. She wants to see if you're different. She wants to know if you're the man who can feel her spark without combusting on the spot. If you fail, you're instantly filed into the category of men she can control. If you pass, you step into the rare space of men she respects. This is why discipline is the deadliest weapon you can have. Picture it, she brushes against you, her eyes watching from the corner, waiting for your shift. If you lean in too quickly, she marks you as predictable. If you freeze and overthink, she marks you as insecure. But if you smile subtly, continue your story, and don't chase, she marks you as dangerous, the kind of man she can't easily manipulate. That mystery will haunt her. That's what keeps you in her head long after the night ends. The hardest part for most men isn't knowing what to do, it's controlling what not to do. You'll feel the adrenaline, the urge to escalate instantly, to prove you noticed, to signal back. But control means resisting the urge. It means letting her wonder if you even registered it. That tiny doubt you plant in her mind is gold. She'll start thinking, why didn't he react? Does he not like me? Or is he just that composed? And that thought, repeated in her head, builds attraction faster than any words you could ever say. Now, let's talk about the psychological trap you must avoid. Many women will combine light touch with emotional withdrawal. They'll give you one touch, watch you react, then pull away and go cold. Suddenly, you're chasing the warmth of that touch, like an addict chasing a high. You text more, you lean harder, you do things for her that she never earned, just trying to recreate that flicker of closeness. And the more you chase, the colder she becomes. It's not about her losing interest, it's about her enjoying the control. She knows she owns your attention. The only way to break this trap is indifference. When she touches and then withdraws, you don't run after her. You don't ask what's wrong. You don't overinvest. You stay steady. Let her feel the distance. And wait. If she truly desires you, she will return with stronger signals. If she doesn't, she vanishes, and that's your gift. Because no man with self-respect should cling to a woman who toys with his validation. Practical clarity the next time she touches you. Discipline yourself in 3 ways. 1. Control your body. Don't lean in. Don't shift your posture toward her. Don't let your breathing change. 2. Control your voice. Keep your tone calm, the same as it was before. Don't let the pitch rise. Don't let nervous laughter creep in. 3. Control your timing. If she repeats it, wait for the 3rd time before you mirror back. By then, she's proven investment, not just play. That's when you reward not with desperation, but with choice. A touch, you end first. A closeness you break before she does. That's how you stay in control. What you'll notice when you master this is simple. Women will escalate. They'll lean closer, they'll touch longer, they'll drop the disguise of accident and make their intent clear. And when they do, that's when attraction is real. Until then, treat every touch as nothing more than a probe. Respect the test, but don't worship it. The man who stays calm under her touch is the man she cannot forget, because he's not like the others. He doesn't bend, he doesn't beg, he doesn't build fantasies from scraps. He waits, he chooses, and he makes her prove herself. That's the posture of a man she wants, but can't easily have. So, let me ask you, have you ever felt that burn inside when she touched you lightly, and you couldn't stop replaying it later? Did it make you chase harder, or did it make you freeze in overthinking? And now that you know the truth, which version of yourself are you going to be the next time it happens? What would you think if I told you that her touch is not about you at all? It's about her, that when her fingers graze your skin, she's not giving you affection. She's giving herself a thrill. She's testing her own power, seeing if she can light you up with the smallest gesture. And if you spark too quickly, she knows she owns the flame. That's the raw game beneath the surface. It's not romance. It's not accident, it's psychology. You have to start seeing light touch for what it really is: leverage. It's her way of pulling information without asking a question. If she touches your hand and you instantly grin, she knows you're invested. If she brushes your shoulder and you lean in, she knows she can lead you. If she grazes your thigh and you jump to escalate, she knows you'll always overextend first. That's how she measures if you're worth chasing or just another man to toy with. The power is never in the touch. The power is in how long it takes you to respond. Every second you stay unmoved is a second she wonders, why isn't he reacting? What does he have that lets him stay so calm that curiosity is your ally? Because when she can't read you, when she can't bend you, she's forced to invest more, and investment is where true attraction is born. Think of it like poker. She shows you a small card. If you reveal your entire hand in response, you've already lost. But if you hold, if you let her play another card, she has to keep spending chips to get to your truth. Women do the same with touch. The longer you make her play, the more she reveals, the deeper she commits. Now, let's be tactical. The next time she initiates light touch, your rule is simple: don't give her more than she gave you. If she brushes your arm, you don't wrap her in your embrace. If she grazes your knee, you don't suddenly make a move. You mirror in proportion, not in desperation. That means your touch comes later, smaller and more controlled. A moment where you place your hand on hers only to pull away first. That exit is what creates the tension. Because women don't remember the men who held on too long. They remember the men who let go before they were ready. And here's the trap: you must avoid overcompensation. Some men think holding frame means going stiff, acting cold, pretending they didn't feel anything. That's not strength, that's insecurity dressed as toughness. Real power is in acknowledgement without attachment. You let her touch land. You keep your body loose. You keep speaking with calm rhythm. You don't flinch. You don't chase. You don't stiffen. That balance is what shows her you're in control. Women crave that balance because it's rare. Most men fall into one of two camps: the overeager chaser or the stone wall. Neither wins. The chaser loses respect. The stone wall loses connection. But the man who feels everything yet reacts on his own terms, that man is unforgettable. He's the one who makes her nervous, who makes her wonder, who makes her come back with stronger signals. And if she never comes back, that's your answer. A woman who touches once and disappears wasn't interested, she was fishing. She wanted to see if you'd bite. Don't waste another second on that bait. Because when you chase women who only deal in breadcrumbs, you teach yourself to starve. A man of worth doesn't eat scraps. He waits for a feast. So the next time she brushes your arm or lingers with her hand on your back, don't ask, "What does this mean?" Ask, "What will she do next?" Because the meaning isn't in the touch, it's in the pattern that follows. Let me put it bluntly, she didn't test you because she wanted a reaction. She tested you because she wanted to see if you could resist one. That's the paradox. The man who resists is the one she pursues. The man who collapses is the one she controls. And the man who confuses the two will never know why she walked away. Have you ever caught yourself thinking a single touch meant more than it really did? Did you let that moment run your imagination until it consumed you? Or have you ever been the man who waited, only to see her escalate harder just to win your attention? She didn't break you. She revealed what you were too afraid to protect.